Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 17. Maharaj Prithu become angry at the earth. From the text 25. Text 25. Now, with the help of my arrows, I shall cut you into pieces, and with your flesh satisfy the hunger stricken citizen who are now crying for what want of grains. Thus, I shall satisfy the crying citizens of my kingdom. Text 26. Any cruel person, be he a man, woman, or impotent, and eunuch who is only interested in his personal maintenance and has no compassion for other living entities may be killed by the king. Such killing can be never be considered actual killing. Text 27. You are very much puffed up with pride and have become almost insane. Presently, you have assumed the form of a cow by your mystic power. Nonetheless, I shall cut you into a small pieces like grain, and I will uphold the entire population by my personal mystic power. Text 28. At this time, Prithu Maharaj became exactly like Yamaraj, and his whole body appeared very angry. In other words, he was anger personified. After hearing him, the planet Earth began to tremble. She surrendered and, with folded hands, began to speak as follows. Text 29. The planet Earth spoke, my dear Lord, O Supreme Personality of Godhead, you are transcendental in your position, and by your material energy, you have expanded yourself in various forms and species of life through the interaction of the three modes of material nature. Unlike some other masters, you always remain in your transcendental position and are not affected by the material creation, which is subject to different material interactions. Consequently, you are not bewildered by the material activities. Text 30th. The planet Earth continued, my dear Lord, you are the complete conductor of the material creation. You have created this cosmic manifestation and the three material qualities, and therefore you have created me, the planet Earth, the resting place of all living entities. Yet you are always fully independent. My Lord, now that you are present before me and ready to kill me with your weapons, let me know where shall I go to take the shelter, and tell me who can give me the protection. Text 31. In the beginning of the creation, you created all these moving and non living entities by your inconceivable energies. Though this very same energy you are now prepared to protect the living entities. Indeed, you are the supreme protector of the religious principles. Why are you so anxious to kill me, even though I am in the form of a cow? Text 32. My dear Lord, although you are one, by your inconceivable potencies, you have expanded yourself into many forms. Though the agency of Brahma, you have created this universe. You are therefore directly the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Those who are not sufficiently experienced cannot understand your transcendental activities because these persons are covered by your illusionary energies. Text 33. My dear Lord, by your own potencies, you are the original cause of the material animals, the performing instruments, the senses, the workers of the workers of the sense, the controlling demigods, the intelligence and the ego, as well as everything else. By your energy, you manifest this entire cosmic creation, maintain it and dissolve it. Though your energy alone, everything is sometimes manifest and sometimes not manifest. You are therefore the supreme personality of Godhead, the cause of all causes. I offer my respectable obeisances unto you. Text 34. My dear Lord, you are always unborn once in the form of the original poor. You rescued me from the water in the bottom of the universe. Though your own energy, you created all the physical elements, the senses, the heart for the maintenance of the world. Text 35. My dear Lord, in this way, you once protect me by rescuing me from the water, and consequently, your name has been the famous as Dharadhar, he who holds the planet Earth. Yet at the present moment, in the form of the great hero, you are about to kill me with the sharpened arrows. I am, however, just like a boat on the water, keeping everything afloat. Text 36. My dear Lord, I am also the creation of one of your energies, composed of the three modes of material nature. Consequently, I am bewildered by your activities. Even the activities of your devotees cannot be understood, and what to speak of your pastimes. Thus, everything appeared to us to be a contradictory and wonderful. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport of fourth canto, chapter 17 of the Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled Maharaj Prithu became angry at the earth. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, thank you so much, Radha Mate. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Yeah,
Krishna.
when you're ready, Sundaracala Prabhu, you can go ahead, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Okay, Prabhuji. Thank you, Mataji, for reading today's translation. Uh, Please accept my humble obeisances, dear devotees. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnanajnashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pacharine Nirvishesha Shunyavari Paschatya Deshatarine. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. May the Panchatattva and may the Guru Parampara empower us to hear this Krishna Katha nicely. Though I am imperfect, the 17th chapter titled Maharaja Prudu becomes angry at the Mother Earth. We are discussing as a continuation from last class on Friday by Raschandrika Mataji. She has covered till 24th verse, so I'll be covering the rest of the verses throughout this chapter. So Maharaja Prudu becomes angry at the Mother Earth. So Vidura starts inquiring. Prudu offers gifts and respects to all and satisfies them. So Vidura inquires about Prudu. So there are a set of questions that Vidura asks Maitreya. So the king Prudu chases the earth in the form of a cow. The hungry citizens approach Prudu and submit their petition. Prudu contemplates and decides to attack Earth. Earth ran in the form of a cow out of fear. So angry Prudu chases the earth everywhere. Finally, she turns to him. Earth's reasons not to be killed. You are a knower of dharma and shelter of the surrendered. O dear King Prudu, you are merciful. I am poor, sinless woman who protects all from drowning in the Garbhodaka waters. So Prudu starts counter-argumenting. It has so many reasons not to be killed. So Prudu provides counter-arguments from verse 22 to 27, 22 to 24. It was mentioned, despite accepting, Prudu was counter-arguing, despite accepting your share, O earth, you didn't reciprocate, you didn't produce. So that was the concern expressed by Prudu. As you can see, Prutu has deeply contemplated before he act on Mother Earth angrily. It is not like someone is hastily responding, but Prutu, after contemplating carefully for a long duration, and upon identifying the root cause of drought in his kingdom, he started chastising and he started punishing Mother Earth. So chapter 15 to 23, there are 9 chapters so far in the 4th canto. So there are 9 chapters. Maitreya describes story of Prutu up till chapter 23 from 15th. So in the beginning, we have seen chapter 2 to 7, 3 chapters were Daksha Yajna, and chapter 8 to 12 we heard about Dhruva Maharaj pastimes. Those are like 5 chapters. Chapter 13, descendants of Dhruva. 14, story of Vena, the dynasty of Dhruva. Similarly, chapter 15 to 23, Prudu's pastimes, which are currently we're discussing. So later down the line, we will also hear Maitreya continuing the description of, Prudu's continuation, Prudu Maharaj's continuation, the dynasty of Uttanapad, the dynasty of Swayambhumanu. So he describes this song sung by Lord Shiva to Prachetas Rudragitam in 25th to 29th. Describes how Narada Muni preached Prachina Barhich. He is actually further descendant in the Prudu's line. So 30 to 31, that concludes the 4th canto. How Prachetas performed austerities and met Vishnu. How did they went back to Godhead after meeting Narada Muni? This chapter is that we are discussing today is Maharaja Prudu becoming angry at Mother Earth. So the verse number 25. Now with the help of my arrows, I shall cut you to pieces, and with your flesh satisfy the hunger-stricken citizens, who are now crying for the want of grains. Thus I shall satisfy the crying citizens of my kingdom. So Prudu Maharaj is saying that Lord Brahma, when he created this universe with earth and its residents, he created with perfect facilities. It is only your mistake, and you have hidden the herbs, food grains within you. Aushadi, which is herbs, as well as he mentions a specific word. So Ulbana, I think. So that is grains. So she has hidden, you have hidden the herbs and food grains within you. Actually, everything is there. So 19th verse, you can see she is giving counter argument. You should not punish me. You are supposed to withhold religious principles as a king. I will actually, so Prudu in response is saying, I will actually cut you to pieces if you don't give me produce hidden grains. I will satisfy citizens by cutting your body. So we should not literally take this verse. Prudu is not implying to kill a cow here, cow form of earth. Prudu is speaking out of anger. Another principle Srila Prabhupada writes in the purport, how in emergency cases a person is allowed to consume meat when it comes to a question of survival. So Prudu Maharaj is saying that I will satisfy the hunger of people by killing you. The rules are given in scriptures, but there are also exceptions to the rule in case of emergency. It is called apad dharma. Bhishma Dev, for example, he was lying in the battlefield on the bed of arrows, and every inch of his body was pierced with arrows. In that condition, all the sages came to meet Bhishma Dev. Described that Bhishma offered respects to all sages by speaking sweet words. So he's still welcomed in that situation. Those he uses Deshakala Vibhagavit the description of that incident because Bhishma Dev was the knower of religious principles. So according to the time, place, and circumstance, he offered respects to them. So the principle here is to offer the respect, and the rule is paying the obeisances. So the person may not be able to pay obeisances, but he can follow the principle by speaking the sweet words, by offering the obeisances. So the principle is important. So the principles are like compass given in a, that give us a direction, whereas the rules are like the roads that we take in order to reach a destination. Sometimes in order to reach a destination, when some roads are blocked, we take a detour, right? Similarly, in case of emergency, the principles which we follow of not eating the meat, not intoxicating ourselves, not indulging in illicit sex, not indulging in gambling. These are the principles that protects the 4 pillars of the dharma, 4 pillars of the social, welfare. These are the principles. But sometimes in case of emergency, one may have to forsake the superior principle, and we take a detour. So that's why Srila Prabhupada told at one point, Srila Prabhupada, there was one devotee who was preaching in a communist country. So then he was asking, "Oh, dear Prabhupada, we only have non-vegetarian available here. We don't have a vegetarian diet available." Because, what Prabhupada replied, what do we do in such scenarios? How do we preach? How do we survive? That's the question asked. So here the principle is, Prabhupada has emphasized, eat meat and preach. That's what he replied to that devotee. Because Srila Prabhupada felt that preaching the Krishna consciousness is the highest principle. If person is doing that and focusing on that principle, that will actually eradicate the contamination which comes of not following the principle of not eating meat. So in emergency situation, underlying, only in the emergency situation, certain rules are there as an exception. And that is why it is said in even Upadeshamrit, where we hear, I think it is in Nectar of Devotion. So Niyamagraha, if you have heard, you can pronounce it two ways. Niyama Agraha or Niyama Agraha. One, it means that if a person sticking to rule and forgetting the principle, it is called Niyama Agraha. Whereas if a person is habitually neglecting the rules, willfully neglecting the rules, without paying attention to the rules, that becomes a Niyama Agraha. So that's a clear difference. Even if there is no emergency, if somebody consumes a meat, he is going to get a reaction, he is entitled for that reaction. So that's what it means. But that is willful neglect. Whereas Niyama Agraha is someone who is actually not forgot the higher principle of Krishna consciousness and is only worried about the rules and regulations, even in the emergency situation. That is a Niyama Agraha. So which is also not good. Both are not good for the devotion. Even if there is no emergency, no traffic jam, if person uses main road for sightseeing, neglecting the rules willfully, then he will come to the dead end. He will not reach the destination. He will come to an end of the cliff and he will have to fall from there. That is, he will not progress in the Krishna consciousness. So in the Vedic scriptures, when they talk about the meat eating, it is not recommendation, it's a concession made available. If someone comes up with the verses, we shouldn't get surprised at that, because Vedic scriptures provides facilities to somebody who want to eat by regulating them, importantly regulating them, so that they slowly progress towards pure devotional service. In the course, they'll start off with where they are, and that could be the point where they might be also consuming meat. Does Krishna consciousness reject those people? Definitely not. Somebody who want to eat by regulating them, that's how it starts. If you want to eat meat, but regulate. That's how Vedas describe. It is given as concession, not recommendation. And then when they seriously take up the Krishna consciousness, they will stop consuming the meat and nicely progress. Whatever meat eating is mentioned, it is mentioned as a higher principle in the emergency situation. I'll just conclude there. And then verse 26 talks about here, any cruel person, be a man, woman, or impotent eunuch, who is only interested in his personal maintenance, has no compassion for the other living entities, may be killed by the king. This is the counter argument given by King Prudu. So for the argument posed by Mother Earth before, here he is giving a counter argument. Any person who is cruel to, who is selfish, who does not have compassion, whether he is a woman, man, animal, they can be killed by a king, and there is no wrong in such killing for a king. So here Srila Prabhupada writes beautiful purport. So that Prudu argues, if citizen within state be, it is a as a woman or a man or an eunuch, if he is not compassionate to the fellow men, he can be killed, right? That's the first point. And as far as the field of spiritual activities is concerned, when A devotee is self-satisfied. He doesn't preach glories of Krishna. He is not considered as a first-class devotee. That is for in the perspective of a devotee Prabhupada is mentioning. A devotee who tries to preach must be compassionate upon innocent persons. Knowledge of Krishna is a superior, whoever is preaching knowledge of Krishna, he is a superior devotee, is Prabhupada mentioning. So basically, Srila Prabhupada is condemning selfishness and a material platform and also on the spiritual platform. Because here, Prabhupada is not just focusing on the material platform, he is also focusing on the spiritual platform, that one should not simply be selfish of not preaching the Krishna consciousness to the innocent masses. So if person doesn't try to show compassion to others, he is actually condemned. And Srila Prabhupada quotes Prahlad Maharaj prayers. So I see, Prahlad Maharaj says, I see there are many people who go to Himalayas, secluded places, and are interested in their own self, but actually prefer to sit in cities. I want to actually help other people to give them Krishna consciousness. So when Brahma only self-centered, does not care about the welfare of the others, then he's like I'm talking about Brahmana, I meant, not Brahma. When Brahmana is only self-centered, doesn't care about the welfare of the others, he's like who has a holes, he's like a pot who has holes in it. Whatever is stored in the pot is leaked away. Similarly, whatever spiritual power that a Brahmana has accumulated, it gets diminished over time. So the point is that Prutu is condemning Mother Earth, that, coming to the context. So Prutu is condemning Mother Earth that when a person is selfish, whether be a woman, whether be a woman or an inch, if he doesn't have compassion, he can be punished by King himself. There is nothing wrong in it. Therefore, I shall punish you rightfully. So 27 verse, it talks about Prutu is mentioning, you are very much puffed up with pride and have become almost insane. Presently, you have assumed the form of a cow by your mystic powers. Nonetheless, I shall still cut you into small pieces like grain. I will uphold the entire population by my personal mystic powers. So Prabhupada is mentioning a complete explanation that scientists miss. Here, as you can see, it is a counter argument given by Prudu to initial point that at Mother Earth says that how would you withhold, how would you hold the population, including yourself? How would you protect them if you cut me into pieces? I am the one who is holding all the living entities above the Garbhodakasaya ocean. So how would you hold? So for this, King Prudu is saying, I will uphold the entire population by my personal internal energy, mystic power. Sorry, I'm personal mystic power. That's what he mentions. So Prutu is giving the counter argument, right? Just like a strong boat who support jivas, if you kill me, jivas will be trouble. For that, Prudu has posed a counter argument. Srila Prabhupada says that being incarnation of Lord Vishnu, Prudu possesses the power of Sankarshana, Lord Sankarshana, which is explained by the scientists as power of gravitation. The complete explanation that scientists miss is what Prabhupada is focusing here. The scientists give an explanation for the power of gravitation is what is holding things together, right, on the planet Earth. So planets floating in space are explained using law of gravitation, but actual explanation is that Lord Sankarshan is holding all these planets. This is like top-down causation and bottom-up causation. So there is something called top-down causation and bottom-up causation. Suppose, for example, to explain with an example, a car is moving. Why is it moving? Because impulse, there is an impulse of the tire. So tire is rotating because of that impulse come through the engine. So why impulse is in the tire? Because there is a spark in the ignition. Why there is a spark in the ignition of the automobile? Because key is turned on. So that is like a bottom-up causation, going backwards. But the top-down causation, which is our Vedic way of understanding, which is not scientific. This is actually more scientific, but actually the modern scientific approach is bottom-up causation. The top-down causation is Vedic way of understanding things. Means because Lord is behind, there is a driver owner who wants to reach a particular destination. Driver takes the car to the particular destination, drives the car to a particular destination. That is why car is moving. It starts from top. The reason why the whole universe is manifested is because of the Lord's will. That is the point that scientists miss here. The scientists, they explain the cause of car moving was, ignition, etc., etc. That is a wrong explanation, because that is not the complete explanation. Similarly, law of gravitation is the cause of planet moving. That is a wrong explanation, because that is not a complete explanation. Lord Sankarshan, because of him, he's upholding the law of gravitation is his energy. That is the complete understanding. And Prudu is saying, I don't depend on you. Even if I kill you, I can actually hold all the living entities by my power. Complete. That is the complete explanation. So 28th verse, Prudu Maharaj is so angry. At this time, Prudu Maharaj became exactly like Yamaraj. His whole body appeared very angry. In other words, he was anger personified. After hearing him, planet Earth began to tremble, and she surrendered with folded hands, began to speak as follows. So 29th till last verse of this chapter, the 8 verses, Mother Earth offers prayers to Prudu. These are wonderful prayers actually. So Mruchu Sarvasya Haraschaham. I am all devouring death. That's what Krishna says. So Srila Prabhupada mentions this purport that faithless non-believers who challenge the superiority of Supreme Lord will be who appreciate the faithless non-believers are punished at the time of death. Example, Hiranyakashipu, because he comes in the form of death, a time factor which comes in the form of death. Time imperceptibly exists, but suddenly, unknowingly, without even person realizing, suddenly he comes in the form of death to the faithless. Example he given were Hiranyakashipu challenging the authority of Supreme Lord. Lord met him in the form of Narasimhadev and killed him. Similarly, Mother Earth saw Prudu in this situation as death personified. She also saw him as anger personified. Therefore, she began to tremble. So Prabhupada says one cannot challenge authority of Supreme Lord under any circumstances. Better to surrender. Mother Earth was escaping after she tried to, she tried fleeing to different places, and everywhere Prudu was chasing her. And when she started first, she used physical means physical means of escaping. But Prudu didn't let her go. She then used words by using different arguments so that Prudu will not attack her. That is and produced all counter arguments. Now Mother Earth finally comes because she could not help herself by doing both the approaches. Now I have to surrender. That's what she was thinking. Now she surrenders and offers these beautiful prayers. From verse 29, we are going to have prayers of Mother Earth. The planet Earth spoke, my dear Lord, Supreme Personality of Godhead, you are transcendental in your position, and your material energy have expanded yourself. With your material energy, you have expanded yourself in various forms and species of life through the interaction of 3 modes of material nature. So here, planet Earth could understand that the king is directly empowered incarnation of Lord. Prudu himself having the symbols of lotus flower, conch shell, etc., goat, elephant goat on his feet. He was identified by Lord Brahma as the plenary expansion of Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Vishnu himself, or Krishna. That's why it is mentioned here that mother started addressing him as Supreme Lord. She is actually offering prayers as um, you know identifying him as a supreme person of Godhead. Therefore, Namah Parasmai Purushaya Mayaya. I offer respects to Supreme Person who expands in many forms by material energy. Vinashyastana Tanave Gunatmane, who is universal form composed of gunas. Namah Namah Swarupanu Bhavena Niruddhata Nirdhuta. I offer respects to you who is understood and to be completely freed from Dravya Kriya Karana uh, Vibramormaye, waves of samsara created by bodies. Urmi here, it means actually waves. So here she is wonderfully praying. I offer respects to you who is understood to be free of waves of samsara created by the bodies, senses, and sense devatas. When person realizes spiritual energy, Srila Prabhupada writes in purport, there are 6 waves of material existence, of material ocean. And what are those waves? Hunger, number 1. Thirst, number 2. Number 3 is lamentation, illusion, old age, and death. These are the 6 waves of material ocean. So Mother Earth is saying you are actually completely free of these 6 waves of material existence. Another thing he Prabhupada writes is that Supreme Lord, although he is in touch with material energy, he is not affected by external energy. Krishna comes to this world, though he appears to be in touch with the material activities, in touch with his relatives, in touch with his kingly affairs when he was ruling Dwaraka. Though he was in touch with the material world and activities appear to be doing the material activities, he is never affected by the material energy, unlike the conditioned soul. That's the clear difference. One argument he says, even pure devotee of the Lord, although he is in material world, not just the Lord, but even a pure devotee, having material senses and body, however, he is also not implicated by the external energy through the activities done in the material world. So how do we know that? So Prabhupada quotes Etadishanam Ishasya verse in this purport. Just like Lord is not affected, devotees are also not affected by the material modes and the qualities of this material world. So Mother Earth, glorified Supreme Lord, although you are in contact with material world, you are completely liberated, not affected by the material bodies. You are completely above the 6 waves of material existence. The second prayer, Mother Earth says, where she is completely surrendering to Prudu after praising the Lord. This is a sequence, proper way to pray. She's exhibiting surrender symptoms. Supreme Lord has decided to destroy somebody. How can he be saved? Right? He cannot be. If Supreme Lord decides, nobody that person cannot be saved. Whereas if Supreme Lord is willing to protect, nobody can cause harm to that person. So Prudu himself decided to kill her. That is, there is no one to protect her. That's why she is surrendering. So if you see Bhaktivinoda Thakur's song, there is a song, Manasa Deho Geho. There is a song. I offer everything unto you. Like that, the concept is similar to that actually. Vishwanath Chakravarti says, Pradhu Maharaj is telling to Mother Earth in previous verses, Mother Earth glorified Prudu. Now Prudu is free from 6 waves of material energy. Is not attached to material energy, is what she said, right? So that's what Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is trying to explain. In this verse, Mother Earth is answering, one shouldn't kill a creeper which has been planted by one's own hand. That's the intent, heart of Mother Earth's prayer is what Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is revealing. You have created me, how can you kill me? Therefore, you shouldn't kill me. Moreover, I will assist you. I am shelter to all Jivas. In me, there is a shelter of 4 types of living beings who are born from, eggs. Living beings can be born from 4 different sources. One is eggs, perspiration, seeds, or embryo. Not only that, you have created me, so you could not, you cannot, so you should not kill me. I'm actually assisting you in your service. That's what she's saying. In the next verse, in the beginning of creation, you created all this moving and non-moving living entities by your inconceivable energy. Prudu actually initially said, world is made by me, so I am going to destroy it. I will destroy it, so I can destroy. Earth is replying, I know that you can destroy, but now at present you are doing a job of maintaining. When you are doing service of maintaining this earth, why do you want to destroy me? So Prudu appeared to maintain religious principles. So that is what Mother Earth is reminding him in this verse, in the prayer. So 32nd verse, you see, my dear Lord, although you are one, you are inconceivable potency. By your inconceivable potencies, you have expanded yourself in many forms. So Prudu here, the intent revealed by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakurji is, here Prudu is saying, you are saying, I am irreligious by trying to destroy you. So Prudu, for that, Earth is replying in this verse, trying to pacify you. Not at all. I am not trying to say that you are irreligious. Your powers are hard to understand by persons who with bewildered minds, and I am one of them. The Lord who carried out primary creation has made Brahma to carry out secondary creation. He is one alone, uh, and many by Maya. So that's what his explanation. So Prabhupada also says Lord Brahma is not Lord Brahma is not energetic, but is one of the manifestations of Lord's marginal energy. So Brahma's position is, Prabhupada is highlighting, is acting as the Lord's instrument to do the secondary creation, where the primary creation is already done by the Lord. So, so Mother Earth is actually glorifying, continuing to. I offer obeisances to possessor of inconceivable energy, O Lord. You are the possessor of inconceivable energy. You only carry out the creation, which is energy composed of bodies, senses, etc. You have great and contrary energies. So the Lord has great and contrary energies. They look contrary, but actually they are not contrary. So you only carry out the creation, which is energy composed of bodies, senses, etc. You have great contrary energies. Srila Prabhupada is using scientific jargon in explaining this purport, where mechanics may be only be pushing only one button, set of electronic chain reaction, by which so many actions carried out one after another. Similarly, Supreme Lord pushes button of creation, different energies create material elements, and various controllers of physical material elements and subsequent interactions follow the inconceivable plan of Supreme Lord. That is top-down causation that we discussed earlier. Prabhupada is clarifying here. The Supreme Lord presses a button and everything starts moving. But scientists are trying to analyze bottom-up causation. They are stuck up. Oh, universe is moving because of power of gravitation, etc. Like that they think. So that's what Prabhupada highlighted. In the 34th and 35th verse, Mother Earth is trying to remind Prudu Maharaj how he protected in the beginning of creation by lifting him in the form of Varaha Avatar. How he lifted her from Rasatala region, where she went to the bottom of the ocean bed of Garbhodaka ocean. He lifted out and protected. So she's invoking the kindness of her Lord by these two verses. So when he Isha Upanishad 17th verses, devotee prays. The devotee is praying, please remember that whatever devotional service I have done, please protect me at that time of death. Please remember me what all I have done for you. Maybe I'll just tell the verse very fast. The verse of Vishopanishad, 17th verse says, Vayu Ranilam Amrutam Atedham Bhasmatam Shariram Om Krato Smarakrato Smarakrutam Smarakrutam Smara. So devotee is trying to pray to the Lord, please remember that what I have all done for you, O Supreme Lord, please protect me therefore. Like that he's reminding. Similarly, Mother Earth also is reminding Prudu. So here Prabhupada is saying, remembering the devotional, reminding the Lord that the devotional service that we have done is not required. Dear Lord, do you remember how you protected me in the beginning? Please protect me also. Like that she's invoking the Supreme Lord's mercy, right? I have done so much of service. Devotees also might think I have came so many times to Mangalarati. I have done so much of seva in the temple. But that all that is not required, because Supreme Lord never forgets all the service that devotees do. Similarly, in 35th and you know, uh, 35th verse is addressed as Dharadhara, who is actually upholding the Mother Earth. So that is what is so he is now saying, you are the one who is actually withstanding me on the top of Garbhoda Kapha with your energy. Like that, she is praising Supreme Lord. Now she is realized and she is praising. That sixth verse, your activities are completely inconceivable. Earlier you protected me, now you are trying to kill me. I am also under control of your illusory energy. What to speak of your activities? Activities of your devotees cannot be understood. So that is what is in the prayer. So Srila Prabhupada quotes Jiva Goswami, unless Lord's activities are accepted or inconceivable, they cannot be explained. At one time you have protected me, now you are killing me. That contrary thing, how you that is inconceivable, cannot be explained. So Jiva Goswami is reminding us the Lord's activities have to be understood as inconceivable. Then only we can, there won't be any confusion. The Lord is one. He has many incarnations, but he exists eternally, expand himself in innumerable forms. Sometimes common man is bewildered by all these incarnations and considers all these activities as contradictory. But incarnation is trying to protect the Mother Earth. That is the ultimate objective of Prutu, not to destroy Earth. Another incarnation is actually trying to kill. One incarnation is trying to protect, but ultimately both are meant for protection only. Either incarnation of Prutu or the incarnation of Varahadev. So that is it for today's explanation, devotees. Please let me know if there is any questions. Thank you, Hare Krishna. Back to you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Sundaracala Prabhu. Wonderful class, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.